Thank you so much, Catherine, and what an important conversation. And this is something that I think is incredibly powerful to empower everyone to know exactly what to do, not to do, and those sorts of things that Eric's been taking us through. It's also really important to underline that when cyberbullying happens, it's no different than a physical assault or a trauma, the impact that it has on us emotionally. And so I just want to underscore that and validate that when this happens, it is an assault. And part of the reason it's important to validate that is so then we pause and we take care of that part of what's happening. Yes, what do we do online? Yes, how do we take care of our business? But also, how do we take care of ourselves? And how do we take care of our team members? You know, Dr. Good talked about it being really hard to not go online and defend our team members or defend somebody that we know. Instead of putting the energy there, it's really appropriate to reach out to that person directly and support them. Because part of this is when it happens to us, it feels like it's only us. And it's that isolation piece that it adds insult to injury. So internally, there's the shame and the guilt and the confusion and the sadness and the anger. And then there's the confusion or concern about external, like what are others going to think about? But all of that means that we need to reach out and get support. And maybe that's within our practice, maybe that's within our families or our homes, maybe that's professionally. One of the really important resources that we have in this profession is Not One More Vet, which started because of a significant cyberbullying situation that ended with a suicide. What's important about Not One More Vet in this context is talking to people that have been there and getting that support and perspective and knowing that at the end it's gonna be okay. But walking through it is really difficult. Some of the other important resources, of course, of the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. There's the Ask Suicide Prevention training that if you're worried about somebody, how to actually have that conversation. You know, Eric mentioned in the very beginning about the cyberbullying situation and the owner and the veterinarian asking, am I going to be okay? Am I going to be okay? And he reached out and called his wife and said he shouldn't be practicing and he really shouldn't be alone right now. That's being proactive and taking care of people that are in this really difficult space. And that's something that we can do when we see those around us, that this is happening too. The other is a great resource with Eric that he's presenting to us today. And I can't tell you enough how empowering it is to know what you can do, where you can go for support to try to figure out the right things to do to manage this type of event. You know, there's never so much anger than when somebody's behind a car and the road rage or behind a keyboard. You know, people act out in some really, really difficult, ugly ways, ways they would never do in person. So we need to figure out how to protect ourselves in the context of that behavior. So